Welcome everybody. Alberg here in Penn Station right now, Doggy Style Podcast. And just have a few things to talk about today. So, due to um, being behind my goal, my weight goal, I have, um, I'm only 4 pounds behind my weight goal, which is not good, but I will not give up. The whole point of this is to lose weight, and I've done it before, which helps. So I need to figure out why it hasn't been working recently. And the first thing I can think of is that it is possible that the walking doesn't work, that the walking is causing me to eat more. And I've heard this, other people say this, that exercising while trying to lose weight could be a negative thing. So that's one thing. The other is that, that the exercise increases hunger. And another thing is that I've been eating a lot of sugar-free type foods, and I've been seeing negative stuff about that. And the third possibility is still eating too many calories. I haven't been really tracking them, so that could help. One thing I do think, if you do a better job tracking calories, it could be easier to lose weight. So it is a beautiful day here. It is June 6th, 2018. As I just see a car cut off a bike rider who was dinging her bell and then yelled at him. And just noticed a guy with a motorized bicycle. Seems to be popular. Motorized scooters. It seems that the batteries right now have been improved. So I don't have much to talk about today. My plan is I wrote some things down on the train. If one funny thing is, this is like the third or fourth person I've noticed talking out loud, like I do when I walk, so I'm sure it's pretty annoying. Yeah, so I was working a little bit on my book, my persuasion book, and up came priming. So I wrote what is priming, and what I wrote down was, it's getting someone ready to be persuaded by communicating with their subconscious before you try to persuade them. This is outlined in Cialdini's latest book, Persuasion. So it's funny, I was just reading some articles. There was something about if you show people yellow, they're more likely to select a banana between a choice. But then I was thinking maybe they're more likely to select the banana even if you don't show them yellow. So it would be interesting to study that or to see what the research is on that. I'm trying to get to to-do list. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so just some notes. Last night's podcast was bad. I did a cast and I was talking about persuasion out of my persuasion book, and a lot of the things that I was talking about I couldn't even figure what they were. So just going forward, if I do write things down, I do have to put more context in it. It would be nice if somehow what I wrote, if it didn't have enough context, it, or it might even say, will you remember what you meant in six months? It's interesting how that is similar to the curse of knowledge. Curse of knowledge is when you try to teach somebody something, you make a lot of assumptions of what they know, what they don't know, and basically it makes it very hard to teach anything. And I think it's even harder if you're an expert at something, because things are just too obvious for you that a beginner wouldn't get. So today is the 6-day war anniversary, which took place on June 6th, 1967. And I kind of just remember that. I guess I was 8 years old when it took place. So the Israelis, and I'm going to run, were attacked by a number of Arab countries, and the Israelis won, and won a lot of land in that. They won what's called the Sinai Peninsula. There's probably other things they got. But I guess it's an easy date to remember. I think Robert Kennedy was also assassinated on this date, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check that. And what does the 6-day war mean to me? So I'll try to give you a Jewish point of view on this, since I was born Jewish. And I do have a certain respect, adherence. There's just something about Judaism that I do like, and also something I don't like at all. But so the first thing is that there's the Jews. There was an attempt to exterminate them in the Holocaust. So Adolf Hitler, I'm sure you know the story now. His goal was what he called the final solution, which was to kill all the Jews, I believe. Now I'm still not sure why. I've tried to understand this, and I don't have a good understanding on it. He didn't like, and again, there's some parallels today, which are pretty scary, where Hitler complained about the Jewish press, and of course I see a lot of complaints about the Jewish press. And I don't necessarily disagree with them, that how the Jews run the media, and there's all these other types of stereotypes, which probably do have some truth to them. So anyway, so growing up, I went to Hebrew school, I was bar mitzvahed, kind of had a semi-kosher home. And we were taught a lot about being Jewish, that you only wanted to marry a Jewish person because of the Holocaust. So I think the Holocaust reigned in big with us. But from my perspective, there's 50 Arab Muslim countries and 1 Jewish country. So it just seems like, from a fairness point of view, can't the Jews have one place to be safe? And if you look at the society they've built. Now, a mistake they've done, I think, is the Jewish people are very against converting people. So they do not go out of their way to create converts. You're either born that way or you're not. And this has definitely hurt them. I mean, if you look at Islam, which seems to convert people or kill you, seems like it's a much better way of spreading your faith. And I'm not saying better from a moral standpoint, but from a efficiency standpoint. And that the rule that if you don't want to convert, you'll get killed. And I think this happened with Christianity, where the Jews were forced to convert to Christianity. So this has happened a lot, but the Jews never did it the other way. And had they, there's a old nursery rhyme that I remember from a kid. Roses are reddish, violets are bluish. If it wasn't for Christmas, we all would be Jewish. So just a thought. And again, not that the Jews had a great book, because you could look at the Bible and see really horrible things in it too. I mean, even the Ten Commandments say you're not supposed to covet your neighbor's maidservant or slaves, I think. So basically, I think God is okay with having slaves in the Jewish Bible. And he's okay with having, I think, prostitutes living at home, or maidservant, I think, is a prostitute, but doesn't get paid for it. A sex slave, maybe. So there's some definitely negative things here. And this is not one of my favorite blocks to walk down, which is between 18th and 17th, because there's a lot of kids getting off the subway. And it's just kind of hard to walk on the street. I'm going to cross and walk in the street, kind of. There's in New York they created these bike lanes. I'll take a picture of it to show you. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to do the picturing thing, because it's very hard to insert these pictures. So it's very hard to insert the pictures into the video. Much easier to just take the sound file, take one picture, and create the video. So just in terms of saving time, I might start doing that, but I'm not sure. A lot of construction going on, putting in what looks like new sewer pipes on probably 17th Street. Just past a stand, a coffee stand, and the guys were wearing funny little cook hats, which I thought was funny. Yeah, so I was just surprised that my weight was up last night. I gained a pound, and I'm 4 pounds behind my goal, as I said before, and it's a little depressing. I mean, I'm starting to question whether this will work or not. But my theory is, as my shoe gets untied, my theory is that I just got to stick with it and keep changing until I find out what works and what doesn't work. So whatever I've been doing up to this point doesn't seem to be working. If it worked, I would not be 4 pounds behind my goal. Now, another thing I can do is if I feel it's too hard, I could just stop what I'm doing and start again. Always start again and try something different. So I'm not sure at what point I'm going to stop, or if I have a quitting. It's actually a good idea to have a what I call, or they call an investment, a stop loss. So basically, a stop loss in investing is where you invest money, but if you lose a certain amount, say 8%, I've seen mentioned, you sell your holdings because you picked wrong. And the same could be with anything you're doing. It could be with reaching goals. It probably pays to have some sort of stop, or with dieting where this isn't working. Though on the other hand, if I didn't do this, what would the result be? And that's one thing that's impossible to tell. I'm pretty sure, though, it would be much worse. As I pull into CVS now, so it may sound a little bit better, to pick up some cough drops. Hi. Do you know where the cough drops are? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I need, my throat is very dry, as you could hear from that. So I'm just looking for some cough drops. Actually, vitamin C drops, not necessarily cough drops. Cough suppressant here. Cherry, but they're, I like the sugar-free ones, which is probably what I didn't want. As I look around. Hi. Do you know what cough drops would be? 12 on the left. Okay, thank you. I can see it. Okay, so here we go. We got them. We'll get 3 packs of the vitamin C drops, and we should be good to go. We could use some nuts also. I find nuts are a good snack. Hmm. Of course, the ones on sale are missing. Oh, here they are. Okay. Okay, so I think I got everything.
The second one is half off. Buy one.
There's no one.
If you have your extra care card, please scan it now. Well, to start, please select your language. If you have your extra care card, 19. If you have your extra care card, please scan it now. 9, 19.
Jeez.
199. 199. 199.
So one thing that's a little scary is when I'm at the self-checkout, I bought some nuts, and it doesn't take the.
Thank you for scanning your extra care card. All discounts will be included at the end of the order. Your total is $15.95. Please select your payment method. Please wait. System processing. Swipe or insert card and follow instructions on PIN pad.
Okay, so I don't know how long
Please
that
remember
took,
to
but
take your receipt.
I'll,
Thank you for shopping at CVS. Please remove all bagged items. Welcome. Please select your language.
Okay, I'll probably edit this out, or maybe I won't. I was just in the CVS on 14th Street and 8th Avenue. Beautiful building, actually. Um, Beautiful columns. Kind of close. It's hard to get a good picture of it. I probably have to go across the street to really get a nice picture. Okay, so we got a picture of it. Um, we. I guess the light just changed. So I'll put this in my bag so I don't have to carry it around. It's a cute black dog with a woman, and the bus almost ran over the dog. Looks kind of reminds me of my dog. Beautiful dog. Yeah, so I'll be a little later than usual today because of this stop. Yeah, dog reminds me a lot of my dog. Maybe a little bit more excited. Looks like the homeless guy from yesterday is still here or something. Okay. Of course, I put my stuff in my bag now, and I could use a cough drop. Yeah, so I was talking about my weight loss and more like a weight gain. So it was 172.6, and I'm supposed to be somewhere around 168. So the whole idea is that I have to lose a seventh of a pound each day, and it's a little depressing, I have to say. I'm almost feel defeated. I try really hard, and even last night I didn't much. But there's like little things that probably changed it. So one mistake I think I made also is I've bought a lot of kind of chocolate, sugar-free chocolate products, and I also have these very salty sunflower seeds, and I have a feeling both of those two, I've been eating them as an extra thing late at night when I was hungry, and I have a feeling they're causing some sort of effect. So to make up, I was thinking of going bulletproof today, which means I would try not to eat for as long as possible, then have a bulletproof coffee, and then maybe a snack, and that would be my food for the whole day, and then have a sensible dinner, maybe a salad or something. So yesterday was Tuesday, and I can juggle at Bryant Park if I'd like, but I set a goal for June to clean. And so when I thought about juggling, it wasn't part of cleaning. So I decided to go home. So I did not walk at night. I walked in the morning. And when I got home, I was really hungry. So I had some meatballs. Meatballs only, no breads this time, which I had the previous day. No cheese with it. So noisy here. And then I took a nap for an hour, and then my wife made me walk the dog, which was okay. I got in about 15,000 steps all in all. And I even cross over here. Pretty annoying. Uh, so they've closed the sidewalk on this side, and on the other side they have some machine where they're cutting up the sidewalk. Yeah, so I skipped juggling so I could clean, and I didn't clean. I mentioned a few of the things I did. Um, it's hard to clean. Cleaning is boring. I almost feel like I need to work from home to have some more energy in the morning, or get up early to clean. I don't know. I just hard to clean. Oh yeah, stepped in a hole. The guys are putting down cobblestone road here. Why we have cobblestone roads anymore, I don't know. Very, I mean, they kind of have a nice look to them, but God forbid you're on rollerblades, or, right, could be deadly. Okay, so I'm on 14th Street right now, heading toward the High Line. I'll be on the High Line in about a minute or two. And I'm not feeling great right now. Feeling tired, run down. I'm not looking forward to what I have to do at work. So I talked a little bit about it, but I just don't like SQL, which is, I don't know if I don't like it. I know I don't like it when it's really complicated. Oy. That little oi was stepped in a hole again. And it seems as I got older, when I'm walking, and probably because of my glasses, I have like kind of bifocals, and so the bottom of reading glasses, and I guess it affects my vision down low. I probably, and that means I won't, should get just regular distance glasses, and that way it would be probably easier to walk. So I'm just about to go up the stairs on the High Line. And so the stairs are on, if you go to 10th Avenue and 14th Street, a little before, there's a metal staircase, and I'll be up on the High Line in about a second. So the High Line is open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., and I guess at that time they must close it. Yeah, I'm a little pooped already. I don't know if my bag is heavier, which it is, because I bought nuts and cough drops. Very noisy. Very noisy out here. It is nice here. One day I'd like to just relax and just enjoy the scenery and not so much be rushing to get to work. So Jordan Peterson was talking about some dangers of a low-carb diet. I'm not sure what they are, but I did put a link to Google. Saying about raising cholesterol, increasing your chance of heart disease. Uh, Something about had decreased bad cholesterol, people on Atkins diets, and then it says kidney problems. So low carb, high protein diets risks ketosis and benefits WebMD. And then here's another one, dangers of paleo diet, dangers of vegan diet. Yeah, so there's I need to do some research on it. Um, just hard to do while I'm walking. Yeah, so I had an hour nap. That's 2 days in a row. I'm not sure why I'm feeling tired. Some of it feels like it could be because of the walk I'm doing, that it's tiring me out. So today I did get my own seat on the train, which is not really a big deal, but I'll take it over having to sit with somebody who's taking up too much space or getting in my face. So it's actually a little cooler than usual, which is good since I'm walking pretty far. I won't get as sweaty. So one thing I thought was funny, I didn't get a picture of it, but they have what's called an emergency brake valve. Now, I call it an emergency brake, but for some reason the person who made the sign had to call it a valve. And then the sign had Braille on it, and I always find it funny where I see signs with Braille, and I wonder, how do the blind people know it's even there? I don't know if that's funny, but... So last night when I went over my persuasion list, it was really shocking on how much I didn't know what I was writing. And when I say I didn't know what I was writing, I didn't know the context, what I really meant. A lot of times I'll just speak to the phone, it'll record it, and I won't even think about it after that. But it's really noisy today. Like uncomfortably. I have headphones on, and I don't know how this podcast is coming out, but a lot of noise, a lot of construction going on. I see there's two huge lots here. Probably a good time to have noise canceling headphones. Yeah, so I do need to spend more time on my persuasion book doing some research and then adding a chapter as opposed to just having a list of items and going over it. So one of the things the first thing I had written about, which I mentioned before, was framing. And there was a lot of stuff on the internet on framing. So last night I was forced, in a way, by my wife to walk the dog after my son had walked her. Not my wife, my dog. And she met a few rabbits, but she was on leash at the time, so I didn't eat them. And other times she seemed very happy. She seemed very happy and free to run around. She wasn't doing well for a while. I don't know if you hurt her foot. It's been limping. It's been biting herself. And just recently, this spring, as long as the weather is not too hot, she seems to do very well. She seems like she could use more people in her life. I could probably use more people in my life also. I do feel a little lonely, I guess, at work. There's a couple of guys I sit near, and they just hired a new intern who, I don't know if I don't like her. I just feels like she's invaded my space. I mean, nothing to do with her. She's just an intern. She'll be gone soon, 90 days. I'll have to put up with it. I am having the deprival superreaction syndrome. So today, since I had a lousy day fixing up the query, fuck you. So some woman just played sidewalk tag with me, sidewalk chicken. She's trying to pass people, and I didn't want to give her up my space, but I did. Yeah, so it was a lousy day. I felt like I just can't stand running queries and having to wait. Oh, so annoying to me. So I need to figure out a better way to do that than my current method. Yeah, so the goal is the goal is clean this month, and weight loss is obviously a goal. I want to work on the book a little bit, and I'll do some here. And while I was sleeping, I woke up, had a thought. I don't know how important it was. Thought I should write it down, but I didn't. And then woke up again, and I forgot what it was. So it's okay. So let's go to the book. Let's go to the videotape. And we'll do. So I'm just randomly going through my key principles for success book when it comes up. So the first one is the walls have ears. I'm actually passing a spot that yesterday they were doing meditation. So just in meditation one day, I took a picture of the sign. But I like this. There's something about this spot I like. I'll take a picture of it. I just like it. Yeah, so the first one is the walls have ears. And all that means to me is that you got to watch what you say in public. Because what you say might be heard especially if you're talking about somebody, which the guys at work do all the time. I mean, it's relentless. They're always talking about their boss. And I'm not crazy about it, and I do it too. I've done it too much also. I don't know if I'm just joining in with them. But you got to be careful because the walls have ears. In other words, what you say, what if your boss heard what you said? How would you feel about it? And even doing this podcast, I'm at risk because there's no one to say that what I'm saying is all confidential. If somebody looks up Al Berg, they might find my stuff. Who knows what could happen. Next one is lazy. And I'm going to say that if you're lazy, it could be considered a good attribute because you don't want to do things. And I use it as my automation technique. So lazy people will automate stuff. I do not want to do the same thing over and over again if I can automate it. And so lazy people will not automate it and they won't do it. Where if you're lazy, you might learn a skill to automate it. So I don't know. There's these benches that I used to walk up and down on, but I'm not going to do that today. Next one is persist, EH. And this is again an example. Not sure what the EH is. Next one is ask the right person and do what they tell you to do. Hostage negotiator was told to man suicide hotlines. That's interesting. So I guess this is, some people do have wisdom and you have to ask them, what should I do? And if they tell you, you got to follow the wisdom. And I've been given some wisdom by James Altucher, and I haven't followed it. So it's on my list to follow. Don't remember exactly what it was, but I do have it on Twitter. So this one is on customer service. And the idea is to look at any bad customer service experience you've had and use that to create great customer service. And you could use this for a lot of things. If you can learn almost anything by looking at it the opposite. So if you have a bad boss, you've now learned a couple of techniques on how to manage people. If you have a bad coworker, again, the same thing. If there's a bad driver on the road, you've got a series of rules to avoid. So I found that from the Stu Leonard's Rock. There's a grocery store called Stu Leonard's, and they have a rock, and it says 2 rules for treating your customer. Rule number 1, the customer is always right. Rule number 2, if the customer is ever wrong, reread rule number 1. So, I mean, it's basically just saying the customer's always right in a very cute and smart way. But again, I find that a bad customer service experience can also teach you, or any kind of bad experience, bad teacher is how not to teach. Um, and even bad citizens, how not to act. I mean, I meet people all the time that I can complain about, and they are acting in a certain way. I would say this probably would be better if they didn't. Okay, more construction. So this is lost its niceness. I would gonna have to say now after this morning, it was just very, very annoying. Fucking. Children, you fucking bitch. Another woman played sidewalk chicken with me. Next one I have is copyright. It's just the copyright for the book. The next one I have is make money. It's an interesting question on how. I mean, I guess I could advertise, but I really don't have any listeners that I'm aware of. For a good reason. What am I saying that somebody can't say, or could outcompete anybody? I mean, there's a lot of good podcasts out there with good, smart people. How is what I'm saying in any way going to help somebody? Or, I mean, it's really for me. It's just a record of maybe my future grandkids that can hear my thoughts. So I have 25. A list of 25 things to make money that I started. I'll just go through these, and I'll probably end the podcast after the list. Yeah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling happy. The weather has gotten a little chillier. There's a lot of noise, annoying noise, construction all over the place. It's out of control. I mean, I'm sure one time this will be all empty ghost properties or something like that. And yes, oh, more noise. Yeah, so I gotta look at the clock. I'm supposed to be out of here off the High Line by 8:30, and I'm sure I'm running late. I'm gonna guess it's like 8:35 to 8:37. 8:35. Look at that. I didn't look, but I called it. It wasn't that hard though. Yeah, I'm pooped. 25 minutes to get to work. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can't. So here's how to make money. Step number 1, list your ideas. So you want to come up with a list of ideas on how you can make money. Give them a name, write them down, see what you can come up with. Seems like a nice building here, by the way. So I'm on 10th Avenue, 11th Avenue, 10th Avenue and 31st Street. And it looks like L'Oreal, SAP, BCG are the buildings. And people going up an escalator somewhere. Oh, that's so funny. I'm seeing the woman with the corgis again. It's really funny. Good morning. I guess we're on the same schedule. It's pretty funny. I come from Long Island, so it's kind of weird. But I take a fixed. I take a certain. I, I take a 706. I I funny thing is I would not have recognized her without the dogs. It's pretty funny. So yesterday there was a woman with two corgis, and she was walking the dogs. I said something to her, and I just saw her again with the two dogs. Pretty funny. I can see Madison Square Garden and the Empire State Building from here. Pretty kind of a great day. A lot of people going past me as I walk up a hill. Okay, so number one, list your ideas. I don't know, maybe I have another one to help you, but there are ways to make ideas better. So one way, I don't know where I got this from, is that you can use randomness to take two ideas and shuffle them. So if I can create a list of ideas I have, I can take different parts of them. So it might be time tracking system. So I could take the word time, tracking, and apply that to other words. So if I also have, say, a speakerphone, it might be a time phone or a tracking phone. Just something like that. As an example, wasn't a good example. So okay, so you want to create this list of ideas, and the next step is you want to pick one. Decide which one. I don't have it on here, but maybe you need to prioritize the list, which is really hard. So that's something I need to develop some better mechanisms for prioritizing. Just one way to do it is you can just use a what I'll call a tennis match. Just compare every two items, and the one that has a higher priority wins, and then you keep doing that until there's one left. And you can actually do this with all of them, and you would, in theory, get a prioritized list. Okay, so I've hit 9th Avenue as I walk up. They've got like 4 or 5 construction workers directing traffic. Okay, so pick one. And if you can't decide, you can actually do a random. So even if you do the other method I said, you can say, I don't know which one, just randomly pick one. So you will come up, if you do this, unfortunately if you have a lot of items, it's how many? It's 2 to the n. It's not that many. I don't think it's that many comparisons. So if you have 64, you got to do 32 comparisons. 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. Something like that. I'll have to figure out the math behind it. Next step I have is get opinions. a lot of people tell me to create an app for my ideas. So that seems to be very popular. I've been reluctant about creating apps. I mean, most people don't pay for them. It seems to be a great business model. I could be wrong. It would be interesting to talk with people who have created apps. I would think for the most part, most people don't make money with their ideas. Okay, so the light at 34th Street is green right now. Traffic is not moving, but I'm picking up the pace and I may run. So if you hear the huffing and puffing, you'll know why. Okay, so I got 18 seconds to get to when I saw the light go on, and I'll tell you how long I have. So I step in the street at 5 seconds. And now it's 0. I'm not across yet. And finally I'm across now. Now I wrote opinions. I don't know opinions of which one. Maybe take the top 5 and get opinions. Get opinions about the specific idea. So you'll have to write a one-pager on what the idea is and see if somebody would read it. Could be anybody that you meet. Yes, can I have your opinion on this? And see what they say. So there might be some follow-up questions. I think most people would say, oh, that's not for me, or I'm not interested. How many people would say, if I asked, oh, if this existed, would you buy it, and how much would you pay for it? Those are good questions. And it doesn't mean they would. They might be trying to be nice. So just because somebody says they would buy it doesn't mean they will. And then you would try to get their email. Oh, can I get your email address? And that would be sent. If they give you their email address, then they might be interested. But until somebody buys it, you don't know. Okay, so we're making our way up to work. The next one is blog. So create a blog about the idea. See if you can get some feedback through the blog, or maybe you already have a blog or a vlog, a video blog. Next one is create an ad. So how are you going to advertise the product? So you want to advertise it before you even have the product. And this is Timothy Ferriss describes this in his 4-hour work week. I call it market then build, where you market your product and service before you build it. I mean, you could build it first. Next one is a vision. What is your vision for the product? What do you see it doing? There seems to be a bunch of questions that relate to vision. So the vision could be, and the vision is important because that gives you, it's just like the monthly goal. The vision gives you something to focus on how it helped. And again, I can't stress enough how no matter what you do or I do, that it has to help. It has to reach its goal. So as an example, I've been trying to write time tracking software for many, many years, too long. And it doesn't do what I want it to do. The idea is good. I have a lot of components with it, but I haven't executed it to the phase that I want it in. And I'm not sure why, but that's an important thing to think about and talk about why my time tracking system isn't working. So that'll be the subject of a future podcast. The next one I have is have an elevator pitch. So you have 30 seconds to describe your product to, say, Tim Ferriss or James L. Tucher or some investor. What would it be in the 30 seconds? Um, I read something that says index card plan. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to just guess. It means put the plan on an index card. And I think somebody from Virgin, maybe the Virgin guy said it, but or that you should be able to, the plan should be very simple. And maybe that's a good idea for a book title, the index card method, where it uses index cards. And the beauty of index cards is it's very limited in what you can put on it. The guy was going way too fast. Car was just driving by too fast. So index cards are nice. So it really limits you to what you can put in a to-do list, goals, anything. So I think I like the idea. Maybe it could be a book that has an index card in it. Could be pre-formatted. You pull it out. I'm not sure. Okay, next is the business model. Business model is how you plan to make money. So currently, a lot of companies' business model is advertising, like Google and Facebook and Twitter. So they're using purely advertising model. You click an ad, they make a profit. That business model works if you have a lot of eyeballs. Another business model is like Amazon, where they basically sell products for you at a very good price. And it's very easy to use, and you're already set up for it. So that's kind of another business model. The business model, at least I could think of with one of my ideas, is training. So I'm not sure, but the business model would be people pay to take training. And then there's another business model, which is a freemium. You offer product for free, and you can get either donations or have a paid version of what you're selling, what you're offering. Next one is obstacles. What obstacles are in your way? What's going to prevent, what is preventing you or has preventing you from reaching your goal or making money on this idea? Next one is competition. Who's the competition? Who's already selling this thing? Who's already doing this? And in a lot of cases, a lot of things I do could always be Google or Facebook. I mean, they're always kind of a hidden competition. Could be anybody. And I guess the best way to see who your competition is would be to search on keywords that you do want to own, which I don't have listed here. So one of the steps should be identify keywords associated with your product and find ways to own them. Next one is MVP, for minimally viable product. So that idea is to identify what features this product or service needs to be viable. So the minimum number of features. You want to go as simple as possible here, and the fewer the better. So if you can identify that, then it makes it easier to complete what you're working on. Next one is MTB, which I mentioned before, market then build. So if you want to market your idea, see if you can get any traction, see if you can get feedback for it. The next one is action. You have to work on it. You have to take action on the idea. You can't just have an idea, and some people will call it execute. You can't just have an idea or a want or a need And it's not going to happen until you do things. You have to stay up late. You have to just do stuff. Next thing I have is habits. So do you have the right habits that'll allow you to execute on this idea? Whether it's writing down changes you need, or any habit that makes it easier for you to be successful with the idea and make money. Next one is focus. The idea is you've picked your highest priority idea, and now you need to focus on it. Now, if you can't focus on it, it's okay to give it up and move on to something else. It just may not be something for you. That is an important concept in that if you don't really love the idea yourself, love working on it, you're not going to be able to sell it. You're not going to be able to do a lot of things. And so this lack of focus you would have on it would be showing that it's probably not a good idea for you to do. So for me, this Excel training, I've had trouble focusing on it. Maybe it's just not the right idea for me. Okay, the next one I mentioned earlier in this podcast is a stop loss. Set aside some mechanism where you can stop. You just don't work on the same thing for years like I have been. So if you can't do it, you couldn't do it. You couldn't make money on it. You're not making money on it. So for example, maybe set a loss of if I lose $1,000, then I will stop. Next one, number 18, is feedback. You will need feedback to improve your offer. So anywhere you can get feedback would be very important. Don't underestimate feedback. A lot of things you cannot see about your product and service that others will see, not only right away, but in a microsecond. They won't believe that you couldn't see it. So that's where you could use some feedback. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to give you feedback. A lot of people don't want to hurt your feelings. And so one of the things I've been thinking about doing is creating a system to help get feedback. As I pass dollar pizza, 99-cent pizza, much better than dollar pizza. Next one I have is a business plan. I've never done one. Does it work? I don't know, but maybe doing one would have helped. Next one I have is trust. Very important. People that will spend money with you will need to trust you in some way. And so you do need to know about techniques for getting and developing trust. A lot of, looks like drunk people to me, just sleeping. Drug addicts, maybe. Boxes on 41st Street. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my God. Oh, I'm groaning because I'm tying my shoe again. And I feel tired. Okay, so let's finish this off. There wasn't that much left. And then the following 3 items are from Doug Hall, who's an author, who's the author of the book Jumpstart Your Business Brain. And he has 3 concepts. So the first one is, and these may come ahead of a lot of the other stuff. The first one is to identify your product or service's overt benefit. And I really highly recommend getting his book. So you want to look at what's the benefits, not the features of your product, and you want to describe it overtly, which is hard to do. So this, you might need some help. You can ask people, what do you think the benefit of this is? Next one is real reason to believe. So why would somebody believe that you can deliver on that benefit? And usually he has a couple of examples how to do it. I think number one is kind of demos, free trials, customer customers that you have telling you how great you are. And the final one from him is dramatic difference. So how is your product different than everybody else's? And if it's not, then it's just a commodity. So I'm just laughing because there's some footprints in the sidewalk, look like bird footprints into cement. There's just something funny about it. It's funny. The next item is Guy Kawasaki has a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, which he calls the 10-20-30 method. You can find this on the internet. Basically, he wants you to have 10 slides. The presentation is 20 minutes, and you're going to use 30-point font. And the next one, I have fun. So I guess really it has to be fun to you. And this is important. How much fun is it going to be to do this? It's take a lot of time. I know in the past. It's so annoying. I just got my Verizon launch because I'm by a Verizon store. I find it really annoying. And then, so I'd like to, those are just the kind of the some keys, and I'd like to create a make money algorithm. And the ideas that I have are Excel diet, key principles for success, Listy, success alarm, Excel class, and Excel company. So that's it. Anyway, hope you all have a really great day. This is Al Berg signing off at the Doggy Style Podcast, June 6th, 2018. Take care. Enjoy your day.